The Sefer Chakima Diudoi, page 219, says that a Jew one time came to Reb Arye Leib Shteinman and he said to him, I struggle so hard in a certain area. Every time I advance, I fall back. Anytime I have an aliyah, I have yerida afterwards. All these nefilas, this constant falling is breaking my heart. I'm advancing so slowly and with such difficulty. Reb Arye Leib said to him, let me tell you a story I one time heard. About 7 years ago in Yerushalayim, we were undergoing a very difficult time of hunger, starvation. And there was a class in Cheder that finished the parak of Gemara. And the Rabbi decided they're going to make a siyum. There was no food. He went home. His wife managed to scrape together a little bit of flour, and she made a small cake. The Rabbi brought the cake into Cheder, and he divided it up after making the siyum. Every kid got a tiny little slice. The kids were so hungry, they hadn't eaten normally in so long, that they gobbled up the cake. There was one kid who said to himself, my father hasn't eaten in almost 3 days. I'm going to save this piece of cake for him. And he put the slice of cake in his pocket. But an hour went by and the boy was so hungry. He reaches into his pocket and takes a little piece off, a little nibble. An hour later, takes another little piece. An hour later, another piece. That night he gets home and he tells his father so proudly, with such joy. He says, Tati, I saved a piece of cake from the siyum for you. Pulls out of his pocket a tiny little sugar cube sized piece of cake that was nibbled on all sides. His father looks at it, understands right away what happened. His eyes fill with tears and he says to his son, I am so proud of you for saving me this piece of cake. The father sees that the son nibbled at the cake. But what he sees even more is how the son was misgaber on himself to not eat up the whole piece of cake. That's what he sees even more. Said Reb Arye Leib, when we struggle in a certain area, it's true, we make advancements and we fall back. And we're not doing away with the nefilas. Hashem sees the nefilas too, but what do you think he sees even more? He's more overwhelmed with the nachas of every time we're misgaber that we didn't eat the whole cake. And his gabras that we do, every time we overcome the Yetzer Hara and we hold back, that creates such a joy in Shemayim that Hashem would kiss us on the forehead. Because we're withholding from eating the whole cake, L'man Shemoy B'Ahava.
Thank you for listening to the Guard Your Eyes Daily Chizuk broadcast. Pass them on to your friends and help spread Kedusha in the world.